dear students, we are going to learn today in computer period word processor. As we know, writing it become an everyday occurrence, and the computers they have affected our lifestyle, work pattern. For that, many application programs they have been developed for writing, make easier and smooth operation. Into that, word processor is also one of them. So today's topic is our OpenOffice org writer. Into this, we will study about the word processor first. What is word processor? Word processor, it is simply a package that is used to process our textual matters, and not only processes the textual matters, it also creates organized and flawless documents, right? So if we talk about the word processor, it has everything than your conventional typewriter has. In your typewriter there was some limitations. In that limitations, we cannot edit, we cannot beautify, we cannot change font, we cannot format our text. But in the case of word processor, everything is possible. As typewriter was having some limitations, but word processor has got each and everything which we can think it can do. So in our word processor, what we'll see the features, why we are going to use the word processors. The reason behind using word processors are such a way that it become a important part of our life, because everywhere documentation work is going on. So the features are fast. Means what fast? Processing becomes faster over here. If we are going to write text with our typewriter, in that case it takes time, because whenever we are going to type any character, it strikes on the paper and characters are printed. Means every stroke will print a single character. Here also every stroke will print a single character, but speed become faster, because in the case of typewriter there was a mechanical carriage movement associated, while in the case of word processor simply we have to type the text through our keyboard, immediately it is converted into the document on our screen. Second, if we see editing feature, which was not in our typewriter. A document we have written, it cannot be edited. If there is some error, we cannot make change in the error, right? We have to type the document again. But in the case of word processor, if we want to make any correction, only we have to edit it. We can delete some part, we can add some part. This is very easy in our word processor. Third point is our permanent storage. In the case of typewriter, again I am comparing every time typewriter and word processor, because they both are used for word processing. Permanent storage. In the case of permanent storage, what happens? In the case of typewriter, whatever you are typing, it is typed on the paper but not stored at any place. While in the case of word processor, since it is used onto our computer, so whatever document we are creating, we can store it for our future work. Next is your formatting feature. As I told you earlier, formatting means to beautify our text. We can change our font, we can change the size of the font, we can give color, we can add pictures. Means we can beautify our documents. But in the typewriter, only simple typing and typing only. Means characters can be printed, but we cannot change the font, we cannot change the color. It is black, then black. Either we are using black ink, then it will be printed in black. If blue, then blue. Otherwise we cannot change colors. But in the case of word processors, any color you can take. You can increase or decrease the size of the characters. Means complete formatting. You can change your paragraph, what you want with your document, that can be done with the help of word processor. Next feature is graphics. In the case of typewriter, we cannot put any diagram in between typing the material. But in the case of word processor, any type of graphics we can put in between the typed text. Means graphics can be inserted easily in our word processor. Next point is OLE. OLE means object linking and embedding. Most of the modern word processors, they have got this facility to link or embed. Link means to retrieve it from any location, and embed means to put inside the objects in the document. OLE actually, it is a program integration technology that we are using to share information between programs through objects. So objects can be used as a link or it can be embedded. Now the next point is spell check. It is the best feature of our word processor. With the help of spell check in the typewriter, if some mistake is there, at that time we have to put the whitener, then we have to retype onto it, which looks the text very untidy type. But in the case of word processor, suppose we have typed 2000 pages, 5000 pages, 10,000 pages, and we want to check whether there is some spelling mistakes or grammatical mistakes are there or not, then we can use this feature. Immediately within seconds, it will check for the spelling and grammatical mistake, and it will prompt us. We can make changes without wasting the printouts. Because in the case of typewriter, suppose I have written a complete line that is a wrong one. I have to type the complete text again onto the paper, means wastage of paper is there. But in the case of word processor, after typing the text, I will check spelling and grammar first, then I will take a printout, which will reduce the chances of error as well as grammatical and spelling mistakes. Simultaneously, it will reduce the use of papers also. Next is your mail merge. Now I am again comparing your typewriter with your word processor. In early days, when we were using typewriter, in that case, suppose a same letter has to be given to 10 different persons addressing themselves. In that case, all the 10 letters we have to type addressing them. But nowadays, when we are started using word processor, there is nothing to type again. Only a single document we will type, and we can make multiple copies by using multiple recipients, and the documents will be created automatically. So mail merge is the process in which the same document can be sent to multiple recipients without typing again. These were the features of word processor. Through that features we were using word processors. Next is terminology. What the terms we are going to process our text, that is known as word processing terminology, right? It may contain line spacing, page border, font, style, size, word wrapping, indentation, margins. These all come under the category of word processing terminology. Now first we will see margins. What is margins? If you see the printout of any matter on page, you will see that from the top, bottom, right and left, there is a gap between the page border and the text. That is known as margin. Means margin is nothing, it is the distance given between the paper edge and the text. There are 4 types of margins: left, right, top and bottom. These 4 margins we will see when I will do something in writer. You can see each and everything. Next is your columns. Columns are nothing. Sometimes we used to put our text in 2, 3, 4 columns. That, as in the case of newspaper, you can see that is known as columns. Means if you are going to put our text into multiple columns, more than one columns, by default it is one column. You can put your text in multiple columns, and these multiple columns will be equally divided onto the page. Next is word wrapping. It is very important feature. If you are going to write your text in your writer or word processor, after finishing of the line, your cursor shifts towards the next line. That is placement of the text. When it reaches the right margin, automatically it shifts towards the next line. This is known as word wrapping. Next is indentation. Indentation, it is the distance between text boundaries and the page margins. Now I am going to make clear here that I told you margins and indentation. You can say margins and indentation, they both are same, but practically if you see, margins, they are the text, margins, they are the space between the paper edge and the text. That is your margin. Indentation, it is the distance between your text and the page boundary, means leaving your page margin into which portion your text is going to be displayed, that is work area. Between work area and the text, the margin is known as indentation. Now students, editing a document. Editing a document means how we are going to navigate into a document, how we are going to select, how to copy, how to move the selected text, that we will see. To start with editing a document, first we will see movement of the cursor. What movement of cursor is? From its position, to change the location of the cursor for editing, that is cursor movement. Here I have given you a chart. 4 arrow keys we are having: left, right, top and bottom. With the help of these 4 arrow keys, we can move around the text. If we want to move towards left, then left arrow key, towards right, right arrow key, up, up arrow key, down, down arrow key. These 4 keys, arrow keys, it helps us for navigation in the document. Control home. This is the combination of key with control and home. It will move our cursor to the beginning of the document. From where your document has started, that location it will move. As in the case, suppose I have prepared a document of 10,000 pages. I am at 905 page. I want to move to the first page. I have to scroll so many times, then I can move. Otherwise, control home, immediately I will reach at the beginning of the document. Likewise, wherever you are, at which page you are, you want to go to the end of the document, then the combination of key, control and end we will use. With the help of control and end, we can move to the end of the document. Now, if we want this arrow keys, it moves character wise. Control key is used with combination with left arrow key, it will move the cursor word wise, and control plus right arrow key, it will move towards right hand side word by word. These are, remember students, there is a difference. Only arrow keys, it moves cursor wise, character wise. Shift, hold down your shift key and start selecting text using your arrow keys, right? If with shift right arrow you are going to use, then it will select one character of the right hand side from your insertion point, or where your cursor is, from that position right 1111 characters it will be selected. Likewise, if you want to select towards left side, then shift and left arrow key. Suppose a complete word from starting to end, if you want to select, then you have to use control shift and right arrow key. Wherever your cursor is, from there the first word will be selected. If you again press Ctrl Shift right arrow key, next word will be selected. Likewise, if you use Ctrl Shift with left arrow key, then it will select before words, word wise. If wherever your cursor is, that from that position to the last of the line, if you want to select, then you have to use Shift and End key. If from the cursor position to the starting of the line, if you want to select, then Shift and Home key. Shift and down arrow key, it will select one line down, and Shift and up arrow key, it will select one line